I'm Lynn Rose, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV.
I am Nancy Matthews, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV.
I'm Evie Hernandez, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV.
I'm Ellie Drake, and you're watching BraveHeart Women TV. You're watching BraveHeart Women TV. I'm Ellie Drake, and this is the Personal Blossoming Show. Our panelists are Evie Hernandez, BraveHeart Women Liaison, spiritual speaker and coach, whose goal is to guide spiritual entrepreneurs to lead a prosperous life. Nancy Matthews, BraveHeart Women Liaison and CEO of Women's Prosperity Network. Lynn Rose, a multifaceted singer-songwriter and transformational speaker with a passion and purpose to connect people to their hearts. Today we'll be discussing examining your relationship with yourself. Ouch. Okay. So, yes, you know, this is a tough topic on some level, yet let's have fun with it, be transparent, and talk about why is it important to examine our relationship with ourselves.
I didn't even know I was supposed to have one. I thought I was supposed to be doing it. I was supposed to take care of everybody else for so long. That, you know, relationship with me, giving myself time, how does that come into play? And since I've recently learned in the past, I don't know, 5 or 6 years that I come first before I can take care of anybody else.
Yeah, when you look at that and now saying I'm receiving the fact that I am very important in my own life, and that relationship with myself is so important. Is that affecting your relationship with your kids and partner and business in a positive way?
It affects everything, because when I make myself, I give myself value by creating a relationship, that value shows up in everything I do, and other people respect me more. I mean,
Yes.
I came from a very destructive, verbally abusive marriage. My self-esteem was low. I never paid attention to myself at all.
Yes.
And learning to build that relationship and feel good about me and say, hey, I'm awesome.
Yeah. What about you, Evie? What have you found as you have examined your relationship with yourself?
Well, you know, very interesting. I have actually been dating myself for about 3 years, and I realized that I had to start dating myself because I became more open, and I am now more open to attracting my ideal mate, because I started developing that relationship with myself, and I say, hey, wait a minute, I want to be the ideal mate. So I looked at the lady in the mirror and I said, good looking girl, now let's go deeper. And I started saying, I want to get to know her more and have a closer relationship. So in doing that, it's allowed me to be now more open and receptive to meeting that ideal partner.
So what you're saying is you're actually taking yourself to dinner.
Yes, I'm actually dating myself.
You're picking yourself up at 7
I buy
o'clock
myself
on Friday
roses.
night.
I do. I buy
Yes?
myself roses.
Kissing yourself.
I kiss myself. I wink at myself. That's right. And when I want to go out dancing, I go grooving with myself, and I create that space. I also do dinners with myself in my home. I create a really nice ambiance. I put candles. I put nice romantic music, and I'm creating that space already. Yes.
You know, you're saying that this is the space I'm creating when I acknowledge myself on this level. If I want to be with me, then other people, the right people, are going to want to be with me too.
Yes.
And that's the right people. If I don't want to be with me, then people are going to be with me, but you know, in a second they'll find out they don't want to be with me because I created that.
I think it goes even beyond with what people you can attract into your life. I think that's everything to examine the relationship with ourselves, because that's what is generating our experience and how we feel and how we're interrelating. And I'm like sharing before we started shooting, but I'm confronted with that so much right now in my life, because I recently had to let go of a relationship with the man I was living with.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, emotional. And,
That's okay.
and I had to look at what I was not willing to look at. I had to see where I was avoiding looking at, you know, how I was being treated, look at ways that then I was showing up because I wanted to please him or giving my power away, and even seeing him being disconnected with me, being disconnected with himself. Well, it's a mirror back to me. That in what ways have I been disconnected with myself?
Now, I have to say to you, I did not know this until just a few minutes ago, right? And, you know, I've known you for a while, Lynn, and I have to say, today when you came in, and I know this has been difficult for you, but I actually felt a shift prior to this, I felt more power. I felt like you were just more of you, and it was no dimming at all. And you weren't dimming before, but I felt like you were shining more. Is that related on some level to what's happening?
Yeah, and you know, I mean, this has been, you know, one of the most extremely painful experiences anyone who's been through a breakup, but it is really, I've said, you know what, I want to feel it all. I'm going to look at it all. And too much before, I've been like, let me just look at the good stuff.
Yeah.
And not really go, what is it? What's all there? I want to feel it all, the pain, the agony, the resentment, and the joy, and the sweetness, even though I'm leaving the relationship, remembering all of that, and really give that to myself and let myself move through it.
I felt that shift today. I felt something in you was like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and so when we're willing to let go, and I really almost feels like I had to energetically pull myself up because I feel pulled down, almost like my default mode is to be in this way.
Yeah.
And I had to pull myself up and say, no, by God, almost like that warrior lioness thing. I will not be pulled down by this. I will stand in my power, even in the midst of my pain.
And examining your relationship with yourself is all about that.
Right. Now, Lynn, you can start dating yourself too.
There you go. I sure am now. So.
Yes. Something you mentioned there about your default patterns, and I think that something great for us all to look at is is there a relationship, and it could be in an intimate relationship, it could be with your kids, it could be with clients or whatever that is.
Right.
If there's something that you don't like about that relationship, well, what is it in you that's really attracting that or causing that to happen?
Yes. And so it's always about acknowledging your relationship with yourself, examining, yes.
And that's what I'm working on next, that relationship with my body, going even deeper and loving my body more. So next time you'll say, who is that beautiful lady? I'll be thinner because I'll have a better relationship with the body as I'm releasing anything else that I needed to release.
Yes,
so
absolutely. So as a visionary, let's each say, as a visionary, right now I'm going to examine my relationship with myself as a visionary. And I say as a visionary, it is that if I were to be really transparent, I would say that I want my vision to go faster than it is meant for it to go. And this space of acknowledgement is to know that as long as I am inspiration in action, I must allow that. So what is it in me that wants my vision to go faster than maybe it's meant to go? Is it that I need progress? Is it that I need something to show me a deeper sense of value or worth? So I'm examining that and I go, yes, there is perhaps some truth to that. So what is it about? Who wants to share your relationship? Examine something right now.
I think that it stems back to needing to prove myself by the concept of doing. That was how I was raised. That's what, you know, oh, you'll do this good. Yes, good girl, get your pat on the back. So I think that I'm still playing in that game a little bit.
Anything else coming up for you, Lynn, you want to share?
Well, I guess it's just still is circulating is that word responsibility.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it, you know, in examining my relationship and what I saw, like I was getting all these projections.
Yeah.
But when we look at ourselves, it's taking responsibility for what did we create, what did we accept, what did we generate.
And I used to not like the word responsibility, but I do now because I used to think that I'm supposed to do something I'm responsible for, but responsibility, my ability to respond versus my lack of ability and therefore react. So wonderful, taking your ability to respond and therefore examining your relationship. Thank you so much.
And taking ownership.
Taking ownership. One last thing, Shirley.
And I see it as a way of me allowing myself to look at all the parts of Evie, all of them, even the beautiful body, looking at all the parts of it every 90 days and seeing where am I and where do I want to go. Being okay with where I was the past 90 days and then moving forward in a positive, loving and accepting way to allow myself to transform and to step it up over the next 90 days. So I like that.
Beautiful, wonderful. Examining your relationship every 90 days. For you right now as you watch. Yes, examine your relationship. I'm waiting. Okay, that's it for this show. Thank you. Remember to share your questions and comments in the BraveHeart Women discussion boards. In the meantime, be sure to go to braveheartwomencore.com and find out what the Core Inner Circle is all about. And finally, on behalf of our panelists, Evie, Nancy, Lynn, and myself, Ellie, Thank you for watching BraveHeart Women TV.